on, all you wonderful A-plusers out there? It is I, Stuart, here once again to give you guys another Kamen Rider Saber review. This time we are actually on episode number 40 now, if you can believe it. Yeah, we've gotten really far along now with the series, and I believe we're in the last stretch of, I believe, 5 or 10 more episodes, something along those lines. And yeah, this is a really exciting episode. Like, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Now, a couple of things I gotta mention before I get into this review. Thing number one is that there aren't going to be any images like I usually have in the corner for this review. If you guys saw my Superman and Lois review, you'll know that I actually forgot to record footage for not just Superman and Lois, but also for Kamen Rider, unfortunately, so I do not have any images because of that. Thing number two, the reason I'm wearing sunglasses, I do apologize. I know it looks extremely douchey for me to wear sunglasses indoors. However, I have a really bad bug bite on one of my eyes, and I didn't want to gross people out, so I figured the easiest way to cover that up is to just wear sunglasses. Thing number three, of course, is that this episode review is a day late, and I do apologize for that. I do try to get these reviews out by Tuesday because, Adam and I have the Toku Tuesday thing going on, and I try to keep up with that, but unfortunately, with my new job, things have been, extremely hectic, and one of the unfortunate downsides to my job is that even when I have a day off, I still have kind of some responsibilities there to the building, and since we are extremely understaffed, I unfortunately had to help out a little bit, even though it was my day off. So all that being said, I am here now to give you guys this review, and I'm really excited about it because this was an extremely fun episode. Now, this isn't going to be the longest review because in the grand scheme of things, not many things actually happen, but what we got is just a non-stop action scene after another, and it was just absolutely fantastic, so I'm really excited to break it all down for you. So first I gotta talk about maybe my only nitpick really for the episode, and that was probably the very beginning when you had Onisama and Rika, the two siblings. They decided to try and take down Master Logos on their own. I forgave it last week because they had a very specific goal in mind when they were fighting Master Logos. They weren't necessarily trying to defeat him, and so therefore I kind of forgave it. But this time they know that they can't take on Master Logos by themselves, and yet they still try to pursue him on their own, and of course things things go wrong. Now, they don't get killed or anything like that, but Master Logos reveals a new ability, maybe not a new ability, but an ability that we haven't seen before, which is that he can straight up control people now. Now, we've known that he's good at manipulation and manipulating people, as we've seen throughout the previous episodes, but in this particular case, he straight up controls Oni and basically gets him to attack Rika, and that's when we get kind of our first action scene for the episode. Now, and now this definitely will not be the last, and we'll be coming back to it in just a moment. The main plot of the episode, though, really is just kind of a race against time, because we got Tassel and Master Logos, who are both trying to find Luna before the other. Both of them are just kind of in a race to find her. Of course, Master Logos wants to find her so he can control both the Wonder World and the real world, of course. And of course, Tassel wants to find her in order to keep the world separated and make sure that there is peace within both worlds. With Touma, Rintaro, and Kento not being able to actually go into the world in order to, look for Luna themselves, what they discover that they can do is at the very least slow Master Logos down. So that's exactly what they do. The three of them go to Master Logos, and we get an amazing brawl between the three of them versus Master Logos. And it very much kind of reminded me of the fight scene from Avengers Endgame, where you had Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, each of them fighting Thanos together. Very much reminded me of that, because you got a 3-on-1 battle, very well choreographed the entire time. There's always movement with the camera. There's a lot of really good matching shots in between different cuts to make it all feel like one coherent fight scene. And I feel like I can't praise the fight scenes in this episode enough, because this episode really had a perfect balance balance with the fight scenes when it came to the flashy computer effects and just the actual really good choreographs, along with some really fun wire fu, of course, mixed in here and there. What was also really great and really helped with the momentum of the fight scenes was the soundtrack. The soundtrack to this episode was so freaking badass, and I really think it helped keep me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I felt like a little kid watching this. It's very strange. Even though I didn't have Kamen Rider as a kid growing up, it felt somehow nostalgic. Like, it felt like I was watching this on a Saturday morning, and I was just super pumped the entire time watching it. So some great fight scenes that we got in this episode. Character moments, I mean, we get the trio of best friends, with Touma, Rintaro, and Kento, all of them fighting together against Master Logos, really getting to see their friendship really fleshed out in this episode. Like we've known it's been fleshed out for a while, but now that we have all of them together again and reunited, we really get to see them acting like, the best friends that the show has convinced us they are, for the longest time. And yeah, their friendship is kind of amazing in this episode. When we get to see it all play out, we get to see this new power up for Touma, where it essentially lets his friends fight alongside with him, kind of like they're all fighting together, but they're also by his side, but he gets their abilities along with his own form. So it has this really cool design where one shape from each of their costumes play out in Touma's outfit. So it's a really cool new Kamen Rider form, which I'm probably going to use as the thumbnail for this review, just because I thought it looked absolutely fantastic. In the part of Rika, of course, fighting against her brother, we end up getting Ogami and oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name, but the blacksmith of the group. Wow. Wow, I'm so sorry for blanking on his name, guys. I am really sorry. But anyways, they join in with the fight with trying to stop Oni from hurting his sister. But, as much as they're able to hold him back, he eventually is able to break through both of them. And the moment he's about to strike Rika down is when his mind eventually does take back control. And, eventually he's able to stop himself. He's able to break the control that Master Logos put on him. And, therefore, at the very end, he, says to Ogami and the blacksmith that he is now in their debt. So I think this is officially him and his sister now joining the Sword of Logos. Or I guess technically they were already part of the Sword of Logos, but officially joining the Kamen Riders, the main characters now. I think that's what we're going to see for the last 5 episodes, meaning that every Kamen Rider has now pretty much joined, with the exception of Ren, but I do believe we're going to get Ren back really soon within the next couple of episodes, because like I said, we don't have that much long for the rest of the season. It's going to be somewhere between 5 and 10 episodes, so I am wondering, again, I'm trying not to judge too hard, because every time I've done that in the past with this show, and I assume, or I was worried because I didn't know where they were going with a certain storyline, the show has always kind of impress me where they're going, even when I think there's no good direction they could take a certain plot element. So currently, I don't know how I feel about Ren's story arc, but at the same time, I really want to wait till I see the payoff of that before I have any real judgment on that whole side of thing. But, we didn't really get any Ren in this episode, speaking of which. Him and Disaster have just kind of been gone throughout the episode. But what we do get is, of course, more fight scenes with Master Logos, Touma, Rintaro, and Kento. And what's interesting, too, is that Master Logos tries to control Rintaro and Kento the same way that he was able to control Oni, but it doesn't work on them for too long, as they're able to break through his spell and then easily overpower Master Logos. This, of course, gives Tassel the time to find Luna, and before he's able to bring her back to Touma, he tells Luna exactly who she is and one of the big decisions that she needs to make. She can bring Touma with her so they can live together in the Wonder World, but the problem is that it means taking him out of the real world, so he will never get to see his 2 best friends again. So it's kind of going to be a big decision between the 2 of them that we're going to see play out probably later on in the series, so I'm really curious where that's going to go. That said, though, so Master Logos, like I said, gets defeated by the three of them, but of course he's not killed yet. And I kind of figured because last time I thought he was defeated, that would be the end of him. I kind of figured it was going to be the same thing here, like he was still going to linger on for a while, but no, this time I do believe they made it concrete that he is now for sure dead for the rest of the series, because even though we see him get away, he's badly injured, and then it's at that point he comes across Storios, and unsurprisingly, because I don't think anyone ever for even a minute ever thought that Storios was actually working for Master Logos. It was so clear he had his own motivations going on the entire time. So of course, the moment he gets the opportunity, he backstabs Master Logos, destroying him, I believe, once and for all, leaving Storios as kind of the main villain for the last 5 to 10 episodes of the season. So now that Storios has like all this power, and plus we know that he has his own kind of version of Luna / Sophia. We just have yet to see what his overall plan with her is going to be. So I'm curious to see how that goes down within the next 5 to 10 episodes. But yeah, guys, overall, this was an amazing, really fun episode with a lot of momentum and a lot of action behind it. And I'm sorry that I can't really say much else about it, but I mean, like I said, not much really happened in terms of the plot. It was a very short episode, or not short as in length, but in short as in plot points. Not much happened. So all I can really say is that this was an excellent episode, and I highly recommend checking it out. Like I'd almost recommend checking it out even if you haven't seen the rest of the series, because I think at the very least you get a real fun action clip you get a bunch of action scenes to watch over and over, and they're just a lot of fun to me, and I think that's what made this episode so unique. Just the action was so great. Not that the story elements were bad, it's just that I feel like the action really stood out here for this episode. So, really fun episode for sure, and I think, probably the next upcoming episodes are going to be very plot heavy, so I'll be on the lookout for that. But guys, of course, at the end of the day, these are just my A+ opinions. We here at A+ Opinions always want to know what you guys think, so definitely let me know in the comments below if you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, but guys, of course, above all, just remember to keep it A+. I'll talk to you later.